Give it another minute for everyone to get in. Awesome. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to join this session, the top 10 secrets to building a $100 million inside sales team that builds over $100 million in sales opportunities and pipeline in a year or less. Thrilled to have you. And one of my mentors who worked with Tony Robbins says you have to engage the audience right away. So let's give a round of applause real quick for day 3, showing up to the sessions. I really appreciate you guys for coming today. Day 3, you're probably exhausted from dancing at the awards gala or having a few too many drinks, but I appreciate everyone showing up today. And just so I could get a gauge of the audience, hand real quick. How many of you are in sales leadership or sales management? Okay, basically the whole room. How many of you are in inside sales? Awesome. Lot of people in the room. And then how many of you are AEs outside sales? Raise of hands. Great. Well, the good news is the strategies, tips, playbooks, and secrets that we're going to share today are all relatable to put into action right away for all of you. So really look forward to diving in. And to get started, quick introduction. So I've had a wild background. I came from a very poor family, and my father ended up getting into software sales as a sales intern working for a small company called Computer Associates, which is CA Technologies. And he worked at CA Technologies for over a decade to take them to the first company that did $1 billion in software sales. So the first software company to do over $1 billion in software sales. And I got to see firsthand what it was like to have my father get into sales and go from very poor to a very great life. And when I was 15, 16, 17, I was like, I got to get into sales. No matter what, my father told me a few things. He gave me a few pieces of advice. 1, you have to stay positive. 2, if you work hard and give it your all, you're going to win. And 3, if you get into sales, you can make as much money as you've ever dreamed of. The only limitations that you have are on yourself. So when I was looking for colleges, I'm from Columbus, Ohio. Any Buckeyes in the room? 3, awesome. Go Buckeyes. When I was looking for colleges in Ohio, I looked for colleges that had a sales education, a sales university. So Ohio University had a sales university, applied, got in, joined their sales university, and then luckily, I was big into gambling. This story's, we'll make this super quick, but I was big into gambling, online poker, Poker Stars, Party Poker, Phil Tilt Poker. And I noticed I kept losing a lot of money playing poker. And then I just realized, someone from Party Poker reached out to me and they're like, hey, Brandon, if you refer everyone you know, we're going to give you $150. You sign anyone you know up, I'm going to give you $150. I'm like, well, I'm like losing like $1,000 a week and I'm already broke in college. That sounds great. So I get my roommate signed up and I make $100. I'm like, hey, I'll give you $50. I'll make 100. Then I go across the hall. $100, sign up, I'll give you 50, you sign up, I make $100. And then I realized, okay, if I just knock on all the doors in all the dorm rooms, I could make thousands of dollars. So I go to every single dorm room at college and start generating a few $100,000 at the age of 18. Then I'm like, okay, well, what if we take this to other colleges? And we went online, took the program to other colleges, and then we took it national, and we built a company that did nearly $10 million in sales as a freshman, sophomore, junior in college. Then President Bush gives a call to the US Senate, and he says, you know what, Brandon, we're going to make online gambling illegal, and you're not going to have a market. And I'm like, thank you, Mr. Bush. I appreciate that. So the market just stopped. And I was the richest kid in college doing inside sales, knocking on doors, and then I took it online to market for all of these affiliate programs. And then I was like, okay, I'm a world-class entrepreneur. I know everything. I crushed it. I'm the best in the world. So then I start this second company, a mobile software company, and we didn't know how to sell B2B. That was B2C, really easy. B2B is totally different. And at the time in 2008, 2009, we tried to build this mobile marketing company for 3 years, and we lost millions in everything we owned. And at that point in time, I'm like, I don't know anything. So what is the company, now I'm broke, I'm like, what is the company that I could work for and sell for that everyone knows that's like the largest. And one of my friends worked at a small company at the time called IBM, and he's like, hey, you should sell software development for IBM. And I'm like, well, I'm broke, that sounds great. So I joined IBM Interactive, and I sold for IBM for the next 3 to 4 years, and that was a great time. And a lot of the secrets I'm gonna share that I learned from IBM, and then I ended up selling for Google after IBM, and I learned a lot there, a lot of the secrets I'm gonna share from there. And then when I was selling for Google, it was very difficult, time-consuming, and expensive to prospect the personas that I needed to sell to. So I was like, I talked to the engineers at Google and IBM, ended up building a search engine to find everyone that you need to sell to, and then I became a millionaire using this prototype, and then I realized if I could help everyone in this room and 1 billion people become millionaires, they're gonna make a lot of money and we're gonna make a lot of money. So a lot of the secrets that I'm sharing, the top 10 secrets to build a $100 million sales pipeline in a year or less, is from that journey. So let's just dive right in. If any of you follow me on LinkedIn, I'm a no bullshit, action, don't give me fairy tale dust strategy. It's all about what can I put into place today. So we've got 4 pillars to these secrets: leads, content, activity, and people. And we're gonna dive right into leads. So the first secret is pick a niche and get rich. When I started my first company that made millions at the age of 18, I looked at what Facebook had done, right? And Facebook launched out to the network at a college, one college, Harvard University. And then they scaled to other colleges, and they stayed in that market because it was the perfect niche for them to scale. And then when I ran my company, I'm like, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. We're gonna copy Facebook, stay at every college, and then scale kind of nationally from there. And when I was able to apply that strategy, to my first startup, it scaled at like 20x compared to my second startup. And then when I was selling for IBM Interactive, they said, Brandon, you are not allowed to pick a niche and get rich. You have to sell to these 10 industries, these 500 accounts. And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm selling to 10 industries, personas at a manufacturing company are going to be very different than the goals of a persona at a software company, and then the personas at a financial services company like JP Morgan. Talking to one persona at one account has different needs, goals, value propositions, call to actions, things that keep them up at night, responsibilities, KPIs, than other personas in other industries. So the first secret is you have to pick account niches. The reason why account niches are so important is you can hyper scale everything that you're doing in sales and inside sales. And let's talk a little bit about that. So when you pick one industry, one employee size, one revenue size, you're able to build out your lead lists at a 10x speed. All these types of accounts, let's just say computer software is an industry. You're gonna be able to build out your list of everyone in that industry really, really fast. And then you're gonna be able to build out your messaging to that industry really, really fast for all of your emails, calls, social touches. So I highly recommend, when I was selling for IBM and I had to sell to 10 industries, in 1 year I was able to build a $30 million pipeline with my inside sales team. Then, because I wasn't able to convince them to allow me to go one niche at a time. They're like, you have to build these niches. We have 10 account teams. We need deals in manufacturing, financial services, health and wellness, computer software, you name it. And then when I went to sell for Google, Google is fail fast. You can do whatever you want. I'm like, okay, we're gonna pick a niche and get rich. Only one type of industry, one type of account size, so that our messaging, our lists, our value propositions are highly hyper-focused. When it comes to personalization, you're able to use the same call to actions and the same value propositions for one industry across multiple accounts, so it feels very personalized to those personas in that industry. And within a year working for Google, when they let me pick one niche, I was able to build a $100 million pipeline, over a 3.4x increase by being able to pick a niche and get rich. So account niches, I want to challenge everyone to focus on, figuring out where is the money. Look at all the past accounts that you're working, and we all want to go after every niche. I want to sell to every single niche. You guys probably want to sell to every single niche out there. Figure out where the money's at, follow the money. Where's all the revenue coming from? What are the account niches that we could triple down on? A lot of people are risk averse and fear that if they go all in on one industry and it doesn't work out, that they need to have all these other campaigns running to other industries, prospecting and calling and emailing and booking appointments. I say triple down on the industry that you know works the best, scale it, and then once it reaches a hyper scale, go to the next industry. So then the next secret is contact niches. So what's great about contact niches is when you're selling to the same group of titles, every title has a similar KPI, similar responsibility. We all know SDRs. What do they want to do? They want to book appointments. Most SDRs are comped based on booking appointments. So if I build out my sales development campaigns, my inside sales campaigns, targeting SDRs, I can essentially target every SDR globally, nationally, at my account niche industry using the same type of messaging. And it will be so relatable because it's like I read their job description. Hey, I know that you're probably trying to make 100 calls a day. I know that you're probably trying to make 100 emails a day, 30 social touches. Your boss is asking you, why are you only booking 2 appointments a day versus 10 a day? Why are you booking 3 appointments a week versus 17 a week? You name it. So your messaging can be hyper personalized to contact niches and relatable to tens of thousands of contacts in these contact niches. So just to recap, the Benjamins are in the niches, and I want to give you a secret on messaging. So here's, I work for Seamless.ai. Here's when you don't pick a contact and account niche. We help companies increase sales with sales leads. It's so broad, you know that this is like a mass email that I'm just trying to book an appointment by spraying and praying. But when you pick a niche to get rich, listen to this messaging. Hey John over at Autodesk or IBM or Google, we help inside salespeople at ad tech companies book 300% more appointments with decision makers at all of your dream Fortune 500 accounts without spending 6 hours a day on endless list building, prospecting, and appointment setting. That type of messaging, what keeps SDRs up at night? They're wasting all this time on list building, prospecting, appointment setting, CRM data entry, making sure that the Salesforce ops isn't down their neck because they didn't enter the 17 leads into the CRM correctly. They're not updating their Salesforce tasks, you name it. So I know that this is what this type of persona thinks about and worries about every day. So then I write my niche messaging, my laser niche messaging, and I could use this for any SDR in any industry, in any target industry that I'm going after for that niche. So what's great about this messaging is it allows you to easily look at the job postings of different personas, write laser messaging, and then get it out there and scale. And what we've seen when you're doing niche messaging and only focusing on one contact persona type all at once is that you're gonna have anywhere from a 70 to 110% increase in conversion rates. On average, when you're prospecting, you're gonna cold to booked appointment across 10 million outbound touches. And we've done this partnership with InsideSales.com and others. The conversion rate is 1 to 2%, cold to booked appointment. If you're doing niche messaging where you're we're analyzing what are the personas, what do they need to do, you name it, you're gonna be able to hit that higher conversion rate, the triple conversion rate, which is gonna feed down the pipeline and booked appointments. Okay, so that was the leads, 3 to 4 secrets on leads. Let's go into sales scripts. So I'm obsessed with sales scripts. Absolutely obsessed. Selling for IBM and Google, they didn't want me to do sales scripts. They hated them. They're like, you're gonna sound like a robot. And I'm like, okay, have you ever seen Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic or, any of these movies? Ben Affleck in this movie, that movie. Does it look like they're sitting there reading a script like a robot? These people have these scripts, they memorize them, and then they execute it like they're on stage globally on TV. The best salespeople and inside sales teams need to leverage sales scripts, memorize these sales scripts, and give the best performance of their life on every sales call, sales email, social touch, video, text, you name it. It's a game changer. We're gonna go into a few reasons why. So the best ways, a secret to write the perfect sales pitch for cold emails, calls, social touches, we leverage a 6-step process. So the first step is the persona. As you can tell, I'm pretty obsessed with personas because you have to really understand what are the goals, what are the pain points, what are the responsibilities, what are the biggest desires of these personas. People care about 2 things: getting rid of pain or getting to a future state that they want to go to. And it's interesting, data psychologically, people want to get rid of pain more than they want to achieve like a desired outcome. And if you think about like weight loss commercials, you know, they'll always pitch you like you'll lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds. But what's interesting is like the commercials that are focused on relieving pain versus future state perform the best. So pick your persona, figure out what are their biggest pain points and their biggest desires and write messaging to that. Step 2, the opener. You know, on average, you have 7 to 14 seconds to continue the conversation or to continue the prospect reading your message. 7 to 12 seconds, that's all you've got. So you have to pique their interest. And after making over 100,000 sales calls at Seamless, what we've found, the best opener for all of your calls, emails, social touches is come in with positivity. Hi, Mike. I love the work that you're doing over there at Marketo, man. Oh man, your marketing automation software, best in breed, world class, game changer. Why we go with the compliment? Mike doesn't even, like, am I a customer? Like Mike's like, I'm feeling pretty good. This is awesome. I love this. So it's psychologically, he doesn't even know what this call is about. But if I go in there, hi Mike, it's Brandon over at Seamless.ai. You having a good day? Hi Mike, this is Brandon over at Seamless.ai. Did I catch you at a good time? Dude, I'm in like 700 calls, 18 meetings, no. You did not catch me at a good time, it's not a bad time, I don't want to talk to you. But when you come in and you open with positivity and you open with a compliment, everyone loves compliments. Like across the board. If you're trying to date someone gives you a compliment, you love it. Anyone talks to you, like you wrote a blog post, man, Ed Porter. Dude, Ed in the back, he won like every award last night, by the way. Let's give it a round of applause for Ed. You know, if I give a compliment to Ed, man, dude, congrats on all the awards. How do I do that, man? It brings down the barrier to listen to that email, call, or pitch. So we're big on complimenting and then complimenting with research as well. So you come in there, you give the compliment and add some research. You know, I used to do a lot of work with Marketo. So like if you research, let's just say I'm calling Mike at Marketo, you talk about what their product is or what they do. You know, really impressed. Mike, love what you're doing over there at Marketo. Really impressed with your marketing automation software, the work that you're doing for Cisco, Dish TV, and Amazon is incredible. Here's a big game changer. Okay, so now where do we go with it? Can I get 27 seconds? So this opener, we've tested every opener over 100,000 sales calls. Now it's not gonna work anymore because all of you guys are gonna use it. Can I get 27 seconds? First off, no one says that. 27 seconds, like you're automatically gonna be like, sure, shoot. Like everyone's got 27 seconds. No one's got a minute, no one's got 5 minutes, no one's got 10 minutes. Hey Mike, can I get 15 minutes? Can I get 10 minutes to tell you why I'm calling 5 minutes? Hey Mike, love the work that you're doing over at Marketo. Can I get 27 seconds real quick? He's gonna be like, yeah, sure, shoot. Then you go in, again, Mike, that's when, so we move from step 3 into step 4, the elevator pitch. The elevator pitch has gotta be highly focused on their industry and what they do. A lot of people, like if we go to the broad messaging and why niches are so critical, when you go into broad messaging, if I say, hey, we help companies, you know, get sales leads, it's just unrelatable. So your elevator pitch has to be highly focused on the prospect, highly focused on the account. That's why, and the contact. So the account and contact niches are critical so that your elevator pitch is spot on. So, hey, Mike, you know, we help inside sales professionals. Like, let's go back to the elevator pitch. This is the elevator pitch, you know. This is, when Mike reads this as an SDR, this is going to relate to him 50 times more relatable than a broad elevator pitch. Write the elevator pitch with the biggest desires and the biggest pain points of the prospect. And that's like the third line. Of all your call scripts, all your email scripts, all of your phone scripts, social scripts, you go into the opener, persona opener, complement and research, that elevator pitch, and then you have to drop credibility. Everyone here, Fortune 500 companies, 1,000 companies, you want to know, like, who is this person calling me and why are they credible? Hey, Mike, and by the way, we help 20,000 software companies just like you increase qualified demos and booked appointments by 300% or more. I know that you could be one of the sales reps, you could be just like one of the sales reps at Google, Facebook, Amazon that accomplish these types of results. So when you tie in the case studies and the logos that are so relatable to similar businesses of that persona that you're reaching out to, you come in with the badass compliment and research. Okay, now you bought a lot of time. You come into this amazing, highly personalized elevator pitch. Then you come in with the case studies and the logos that hit home, and some ways to use different logos. Like, I would recommend even trying competitors. Like, competitors are great. If Mike's at Facebook and I'm mentioning Google and LinkedIn, he's going to be interested. He's going to be like, well, how'd you do that for Google and Facebook? I'm at LinkedIn. I want to know how to do that. So highly recommend all of these different logos, credibility factors, and different ways to also add in credibility factors. In your emails, calls, social pitches, tie in the actual case study. Hey, we helped Google go from booking 2 appointments a day to 7 appointments a day. We helped Amazon go from 4 appointments a day to 16 appointments a day. Like, tie in the actual results of like where they were and then where they want to go. Everyone's on it. Like, if you think about your personas, they're on this, they want to get to like the island of treasure, the island of money. Typically people want to make a lot of money, whether it's ROI, revenue results, or they want to save a lot of money. Like, they're here in this current state, point A. How are you going to help them get to point B? And that's when all of these testimonials come in. They want to take the boat, they want to take the rocket ship to get to point B as fast as possible, as cheap as possible, as soon as possible. And that's those credibility factors. So the last step of your sales script secrets for opening your calls, emails, and social touches is the call to action. How many of you have received a call or an email where it's like, hey, I want to give you a free trial, I want to book an appointment, and I want to connect on LinkedIn? Like, multiple call to action. Who's received a cold prospecting message with like 10 different call to actions? Raise a hand. Like, you just sit there and you're like, whoa. This dude just they're like trying to date you and marry you like right when you walked into the bar. And I'm like, you got to slow it down a bit. One call to action. The secret is one call to action, and try to make that call to action so easy for your prospect to commit that it's like dumbless. One of the hacks and secrets that I leverage when I know that I want to book an appointment with someone is I'll put every single time in my email or my LinkedIn messages for the next week. So for the next 5 days, I'll put 3 to 4 times each day for the next 5 days. I'd love to set up a quick 5-minute chat. How does next Tuesday work? 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 4 p.m. Wednesday, 7 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m. You go down, like, make it as easy as possible for your prospect to do zero work and keep your call to action as simple as possible. You don't want to have 17 call to actions. Next secret, you have to write out all your scripts for your calls, emails, social touches for each persona in advance. And this is what I see a lot of companies, we work with over 20,000 companies, and a lot of them are like scared to write the call scripts, the voicemail scripts, the social scripts, the video scripts, the LinkedIn messages in advance. They're scared to plan out these campaigns in advance. Like, the good news is with SalesLoft and Outreach and all these different tools, people are now used to doing these like multi-touch outbound prospecting campaigns Good news is before Outreach and Sales Loft came on board, I was selling for IBM Interactive, and all the marketers do this. They build a multi-touch marketing campaign over time, and they plan out every message in advance. So when I was selling for Google, and then when I launched Seamless, we did the same. And you're able to just accelerate the amount of booked appointments and opportunities that you generate when you plan out every single touch in advance with exact word-for-word scripts that you're gonna use. For LinkedIn Invite 1, use this. For email 2, use this. For LinkedIn Message 1, use this. For LinkedIn Message 3, use this. And A/B test those scripts that you're using. So I'm not saying you have to use the same script for each touch, each different day that you plan out, but plan out your campaign. Like if you're in high transactional sales, your outbound campaign is gonna be 7 to 21 days. If you're in 6, 7-figure deals, like I was doing at IBM and Google, you're running outbound campaigns for months or years. So plan out all of those touches in advance, write out all the scripts, A/B test the scripts, use what's best, and then everyone, inside sales, outside sales, get everyone comfortable and bought in on planning out these scripts and using them and then constantly optimizing. Objection scripts. I'm a sales script junkie, especially with sales objections. So it boggles my mind, we've only got 6% of the companies that we work with plan out every single sales objection with every single sales script. It's shocking. When you're selling, you're gonna run into the same 10 sales objections every single time. I'm not interested, no budget, already working with someone, send me more information, I need to talk to my boss, now is not a good time, call me back later, I'm not the right person. Guys, these sales objections you hear over and over and over again. Anything that you do repetitive over time, you need to automate. Figure out the best word-for-word sales scripts to overcome every single sales objection and drill it into your sales team every single day. I wasn't allowed to do that at IBM Interact. They didn't like scripts, right? So I couldn't, I'm like, guys, we're running the same 10 sales objections every single day. So then when I built an inside sales team selling for Google, I wrote 5 scripts for every single sales objection, and my team memorized them. And instead of generating 30 million in opportunities in a year at IBM, I was able to generate 100 million in opportunities in a year selling for Google, because we figured out, okay, every objection, what's the best sales script? And the best way to do this, awesome hack, get it into a Google Doc. So Google Doc, there's a feature where you have an outline, and when you click different headers in the outline, the page will move. It's almost like a movable website. So put these 10 sales objections in a Google Doc, write out all the sales scripts, and then your SDRs can click when they're on a call and they've got that Google Doc open. Someone's like, I'm not interested. They click the I'm not interested in Google Doc. The doc will move down to that section of the playbook, and boom, right there. Hey, John, completely understand. Everyone I've worked with said the exact same thing, and now they're our best clients. Let me share with you how we helped Amazon triple the amount of qualified meetings and opportunities in 60 seconds. Do you mind if I go over that real quick, or whatever it is? Have these scripts laid out, use those objections, get everyone bought in on the playbook. And writing these scripts is sometimes time-consuming and difficult, but highly recommend getting the team bought in, work with your team to write the best objection scripts. My SDRs are now writing better sales objection scripts than I do. And listening to the SDRs and the AEs, getting their input, involving them in writing out the playbook to overcome objections also gets everyone bought in on using all the scripts to overcome the objections. So write it all out in a Google Doc, get the whole team involved, and you're off to the races. And we're so obsessed with sales objections. We wrote 20 different books. It's called the 7-Figure Sales Script System. We've got a book per objection. If you guys need any help, feel free to check it out. It's less about overcoming the objection and closing the deal. It's more about addressing the objection to buy the time and interest to continue the conversation. So what we try to do is we try to address the objection to pique their interest enough to want to say, all right, we already know you're working with someone. Like we knew that before we even called you. That's why you're on our list. Like we knew to call you because you're already working with someone. I love that, John. Thanks, Ed, for telling me that. That's exactly why I'm calling. And let me tell you why, and then you open it up. So the next secret, 365 days of value-added follow-up. I'm on LinkedIn and I get over 500 messages a day. But we get 1 million views on LinkedIn with our video content and our writing content, and I get 500 LinkedIn messages a day. I would say 480 of them are bullshit sales pitches. They're all sales pitches about them and their company and how great they are and their case studies, and it's got nothing to do with me. They didn't research me, they didn't compliment me, they didn't look at what we did, they didn't tell me how I'm gonna crush the competition, they didn't tell me how I'm gonna 10x the business, you name it. It's always about them. The 2% that create value-added follow-up, VAFU, value-added follow-up, the strategies, the tips, the best practices, the secrets to help me. Again, we talked about people are here and they want to get on the magic island over here. Their biggest desires, their goals, their dreams to get rid of their pain points. We need to leverage value-added follow-up in inside sales, outside sales to take them from point A to point B. So what we've done, we instituted this at Google and then we instituted it at Seamless is, okay, Outreach, SalesLoft, all these workflow automation tools, right? So you could easily create a cadence or a sequence with 100 templates. It's pretty sweet. So what we've done is we created, okay, there's 260 business days. We can't reach out to someone every day for 260 days. So let's just say every 3 days, that's 80 to 120 days, we want to reach out to the prospect and give them value add. There's 40 different ways to add value to your prospect every single day, like tips, strategies, best practices, white papers, competitive intelligence, case studies, ROI business cases, ebooks, books. There's so many ways to add value that educate your buyers to go from point A to point B, their biggest desires, goals, dreams, relieving all their pain. I would create a sequence in one of your workflow automation tools and start adding all the templates where you can deliver the value-added follow-up. So maybe you've got 30, like what we do. We know our sales professionals are always trying to improve cold calling, emailing, social selling, booking appointments, closing deals, objections, you name it. So we took 20 themes. Cold calling's a theme, social selling's a theme, emailing's a theme, booking appointments is a theme, each sales objection is a theme, and then we wrote out 120 different templates to add value. So we're doing tips, strategies, best practices, sales scripts, lead lists, anything and everything that we could do to help you sell faster and easier. We put it in a sequence, and we've got 90 different templates, which is crazy, 90 different templates. But then when, let's just say you do 30, one a month for your prospects, or I think that's too slow. Another secret is frequency. I think that you could, if you're adding value, you could be more frequent in your engagement and communication with your prospects. When you're not adding value, people are gonna unsubscribe. But if you're adding value, you're gonna be scared to unsubscribe because there's so much value that you don't wanna unsubscribe because you're gonna miss the value. So if I'm giving you these world-class sales tips that can help you make $1 million with calling, emailing, social selling, closing, overcoming objections, you're not gonna unsubscribe, you're gonna be interested in the next follow-up and the next follow-up, the next follow-up. And when you're doing value-added follow-up, I highly recommend, I think it's best give, and then take. For every 5 times you give, then you ask for something. So I like to play playing the long game with value-added follow-up. Give so much to your audience that when you do ask for them to book an appointment, or you do ask for the sale, or whatever it may be, that it's so easy for them to be interested in moving forward with that call to action that it's a no-brainer. So the next set of secrets deals with activity. I believe daily sales activity drives daily sales results. I remember when I was selling for IBM Interactive, they would do these like annual reviews. You know how much stuff happens to salespeople in a year? 12 months? You're gonna do a review with me in a year to tell me if I did good or bad in sales at the company. Like what we've done at Seamless and what we did selling for Google, we measure everything daily. Everything daily. And the best way to do that is working with your reps. Like I call it the $1 million math. Like sit down with your reps and figure out what is your goal. Like for me, it's pretty easy because like all my SDRs, AEs, they want to make $1 million. It's like, how do I make $1 million as fast as possible? Or maybe it's 6 figures, whatever it may be. Sit down with your reps and be like, what do you want to make? Like dream life, what do you want to make to provide for you and your family or for your friend, whatever you want to do. Maybe you want to travel the world. How much do you need to make? Do the math, okay? So what's the average commission? Okay, so for this example, easy math, I said, okay, $10,000 is the average commission that I get if I close a deal. Okay, well then how many deals do you need? 100 deals in a year, you hit it. Then number of deals needed per day, okay, 0.38. Meetings needed per day, 4. Leads needed work per day, 77. So like you back into their dream goal of what they want to make, and then you figure out, okay, to make that dream income, here are the amount of leads you need to find and add to the funnel every day. Here are the amount of the contacts and accounts that you need to work every day. Here are the amount of appointments that you need to book every day. And here are the amount of deals that you need to close every day. And then you manage that activity within Salesforce or whatever CRM you're using based on the daily metrics. We coach and manage on daily metrics because we know that daily activity leads to long-term revenue results. If you want to lose weight and you eat shitty every day, you will not lose weight. It's eating healthy every single day and working out and yada, yada, yada. If you get off of measuring the daily activity, your pipeline isn't gonna get fat. You gotta do the daily activity and the daily results. So what we do with our SDRs is we measure everything from leads added to the funnel every day, calls made every day, social touches every day, LinkedIn invites every day, LinkedIn messages sent every day, videos posted every day, emails sent every day. And SDRs will don't look at emails sent like that outreach gives you, look at like the actual new outreach, because like the auto replies like is a BS metric that will throw off the numbers. Like look at brand new cold personalized outreach that you sent out. And what we like to do is we keep everything in a dashboard, a leaderboard, so that you could track green, yellow, and red. So the KPIs that you need your team to hit to do 100 million in sales ops or 10 million or a million have the different activity, the daily metrics, red, yellow, or green. Like everyone can easily understand red, yellow, or green. Am I good? Am I bad? So then these dashboards will auto update every single day. And then you can do the same with your BDM and AE dashboards. How many pitches did I give today? How many deals did I close today? And some of you are in like, obviously enterprise sales. So just tracking that on a daily basis and then tracking it on a weekly basis and a monthly basis, you'll be able to see the income. And it's all tied to doing your 7-figure sales math or 6-figure sales math or whatever they want to make. Like I would really tie it to showing them based on the commission that you make, for every deal, what is the math that you need on a daily basis? What are the daily metrics? And then hold everyone accountable. It's inspiring for any of your reps and SDRs, AEs, sales managers, sales leaders to be able to see like, oh man, like this is doable. I only need a prospect, 77 people, close X amount of deals and win to make that type of money. Like that gives them something to really strive for. So the last set of secrets deals with people. Finding the right talent to do the leads, to do the content, to do the activity. A lot of people are talking about, cancer doing sales cancer kills companies. I literally just fired one of my top sales reps like 3 days ago. And I waited 90 days to do it because I kept saying like, man, like I'll keep coaching him up. Like this person was very negative to the other 40 team members on my team. No one wanted to work with them. But as a CEO and founder, I'm like, number one rep, get used to it, work with it. But what you see is a negative person who's negative, always finds problems, doesn't work well with others. Yeah, they may be a top rep in the top 10%, 1%, 5%, and they're producing, let's just say, $1 million annually, or $1 million annually just for easy numbers. Well, your other reps who are also producing $1 million, their output decreases 20% because this person is so damn negative that it brings their output down. They're so negative that the marketing team gets disenfranchised, that the leads generated for your sales team goes down 20%. Then your customer success team doesn't ever want to talk to them because the sales rep doesn't do anything that the customer success team needs, and then their output drops 20%. So now you've got $1 million producer who just decreased the amount of output on the team by 20 million or 30 million or 50 million. So it's critical that you try to find the right talent and keep them highly motivated and coach quick. And if you can't coach them up, I recommend coaching them out as fast as possible when it comes to their ability to work well with others. Salespeople, as we know, we're all loud. So if we're positive and we're winning deals, we're gonna be loud. But if we're winning deals and we hate the company and we hate the management and we disagree with everything, we're gonna be louder about that, and we're gonna be louder about it to every single person that you know. So it's really important to find the right people. And some of the ways that we've seen the best companies hire the right people, the first one is sales interview questions. So ask some really difficult sales interview questions, like what would you do if you were in this type of selling situation? How would you handle this? Like you could get the metrics of how you hit quota and how did you perform and how much money did you make and all of this jazz, but do situational interview questions to really identify, could this person excel at our culture, at our company, with our sales cycle, with our sales process? Like I would write out all the 10, 20, 30 interview questions so you can pinpoint with a needle, this person's gonna be successful or not if we brought them on. Next, role playing and prospecting. Like you wanna see people that are the real deal. Hey, Mike, dude, I love everything you're saying. Every sales rep will tell you they're the best salesperson in the world. Salespeople know how to pitch themselves better than anyone, right? They're gonna tell you they're amazing, we're great, we hustle, we work hard. And what we've done in every interview to try to find and place the best talent here at Seamless and other companies that we've seen is role playing. Pitch me your current product. I'm a prospect. Cold call me, email me, pitch me. And then you could go through the pitch, you could go through their sales discovery, you could go through how they handle objections. Like, do they get freaked out and hang up the phone? We've had reps we've interviewed who couldn't role play that quit out of the process because they couldn't handle the one interview role play. And our HR team is like super chill compared to our sales management team. Like if you can't role play with Danielle and Chrissy, you're never gonna be able to role play with my VP of revenue, Mike here, because he will destroy you. And the great news about the role play is that it just weeds out people that are wannabes or that don't really have what they say that they have. And that will get you to figure out, like, what's cool about role play too is one of the things that we do with role playing is we provide great feedback, positivity. So after we do a role play, we give them 3 things that they did amazing. Your energy was incredible. I loved how you related this to our competitors and where we're at today. And you mentioned the news article, and then your opener to that call was great, and your 7 discovery questions were spot on. So then what we do is we find 3 negative things, and we give them the negative feedback purposely to have them role play again. So what this does is we give them the 3 things that are bad, and we want to see them put into action. So we give it to them. We say, look, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to really analyze the positive and the negative, and role play with me, pitch me again. Same pitch me again. And this way it allows you to see if they're coachable. One of the top things we hire for is grit and coachability. Positivity, coachability, and grit, and hustle. If you're coachable, number one, if you're coachable, we could help coach you and train you to do anything. If you're positive and you're coachable, that's amazing. And then if you've got the hustle, which is all tied to grit, you can work hard, be coached, and win, and be positive, and then be a great culture fit. So what we do is we give them the negative feedback in these interviews to see how they pitch us in their next role play, did they listen to our coaching, and then what did could they apply it? Do they know application of feedback and coaching and apply it to win in sales? And then the last thing goes back to the cancer. Luckily, we have an amazing team, an amazing culture and company. Any salesperson that's negative, that doesn't want to work hard, I recommend going with your gut. Typically your gut is always right. My chief operations officer, she calls out the people that aren't going to work 3 months before I do. And you just have to get rid of the bad people as fast as possible, because it will decrease productivity tenfold.
Okay. So you do this panel interview, because we actually do that.
Awesome.
Type of interviewing. We have them come into a presentation, we give them a scenario that we want
Great.
them to pitch to us. And we have usually about 8 people in the room that will observe, and they're from different, our tech support team, from inside sales and SDR, HR, and sales manager. So different perspectives from different departments. How many people are in your
hiring process?
Yes.
So we take candidates through about 6 people on our team, and we have different scorecards for them that everyone leverages: culture, coachability, positivity, work ethic. It's like a 20-step scorecard, and then we gather all the scores of these people, and then we analyze the results on the top candidates that we want to hire. Luckily for us, our product is very easy to sell. So for us, we're lucky. When I was selling for Google and IBM, it was very difficult to find talent to be able to do 7-figure deals at scale with Fortune 500 CMOs. So I think the difficulty in finding the right candidates depends on the company that you're at, and making sure that you've got the right scorecards. Scorecards are critical with anyone that you're trying to bring on, because if you're not using an in-depth scorecard for all of these different aspects, everyone will be good or bad. Yeah, he was good, she was great, I didn't like her. It's well, why didn't you like her?
Yeah, we just have a follow-up review. We don't really have scorecards.
Yeah, so I would lay out what are the things that your company cares most about, and create things that you could judge and score on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being great, 1 being the worst, and then you give that each section of the scorecard a weighted index. If you care more about work ethic than you do culture, you could increase that weighted, not algorithm, but weighted math equation to compute the results. And lastly, hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle. If they come on board 30, 69 days, and within the first month, if the person is going to work really, really hard or not. Within the first 60 days, absolutely. If you're worried about their metrics 30 days in, and then you're going 60 days in, and then 90 days, it doesn't change. One of the best pieces of advice that I got from a sales leader that worked under Mark Benioff, he said, the results of the first 90 days will be indicative of the next 10 years at your company. Maximum 90 days. If they're performing bad and not putting in the hard work, not executing calls, emails, social touches, the appointments, the closed deals, pitching, if they're not hustling the first 30 days, and then you look at the next 30 days after coaching them and trying to improve them, and it's still not going well, I'd be really concerned on day 60 to 90, because that will be indicative to the next 5-10 years that they're at your company. So I recommend kind of moving people out if needed, if they're not working hard and hustling. Yeah.
Where did you see the productivity dial for touches? One is low compared to their peers, but the end result is higher.
The conversion rate. Okay, so the question was what if they're doing less activity, but they're producing equal or greater results because the conversion rate is higher? I would look at the desired outcome, right? So we all care about booked appointments, opportunity creation, revenue closed and generated. I would focus on those end goal metrics over the activity. And for those reps, I would congratulate, because they found a better way to convert at a higher conversion rate than trying to do more activity, because they're probably taking the 6-step process of the opener, the compliment, the customized elevator pitch, the customized prospecting, emails, calls, social touches. than someone that's doing 100 spray and pray emails and calls. You know, I would coach them, great job. Hey, how can we increase that level of activity so that you maintain the conversion rate and you book twice as much because you also increase the level of output? And that's a wrap, guys. Those are, I probably give you like 20 secrets, but I don't follow directions. I'm an entrepreneur. So 10 secrets to building a $100 million inside sales team. Thank you guys so much for joining today's session. Hope you got something out of it. And you know, feel free to get on Seamless for free. We'll hook you guys up. And then also, we just released the 20 books on Amazon. If any of you guys need any help with any of these sales objections, scripts, we took all of our playbooks. We wrote a 3,000-page sales playbook. We're going to keep it a secret. And then we decided to give it to everyone to make as much money as humanly possible and put it on Amazon. So feel free to go there and then connect with me on LinkedIn. We post content every day. I'd love to connect with you. And if there's anyone that we can help you connect with to generate more revenue, sales opportunities, let me know. We're happy to do that. So thank you so much. And we can open it up for any Q&A or anything if anyone has any other questions.